We have an amazing team that's been assembled to support public services as we prepare to reopen our borders and we continue to combat COVID-19. The areas that that team is looking at include our facilities. So we have representation from facilities management that makes sure that our buildings remain safe for our employees and our customers. They're also responsible for the distribution of supplies that are necessary to keep our employees safe, including personal protective equipment and most recently our lateral flow kits. We also have representation from the Central Procurement Office. They are there to help us with procurement and supply chain management. There have been a number of elements of work that have been delivered that have made it possible for us to get through the pandemic thus far and that continue to play a major part in our mitigating efforts to ensure public services remain even after the borders reopen. Technology and the ability of our teams to work remotely is a crucial part of that. Also, the ability for us to communicate. We have platforms now that enable us to have a town hall meeting with literally just hours' notice. We have hundreds of participants that can participate in that, and specifically, we can facilitate the safe collaboration across our teams without the risk of persons being in large gatherings. So technology is a big part of that, and our platforms to do that have been huge and very important. They've also allowed us to stay connected with our SAGC partners, and so we have ways of sharing both the policy tools that are being developed within core government, but also being able to receive feedback from them on how they are doing as it relates to their people policies and the impacts to their organization. So we've created some new ways of working there. Our continuity frameworks have been updated. So they look at new ways of assessing threats. In 2020, the big thing that everyone was worried about was infection levels. In 2021, what we're really looking at is, are we having persons that are hospitalized, or God forbid, do we see an increase in death? That changing way of looking at what threat looks like, because we have such a highly vaccinated population, allows our departments to reassess what threats they're facing and to be sure that they have practical elements in place to keep the services going. Our aim in business continuity is to make sure not only that we have essential services running throughout the crisis, but that we're able to maintain our core business services for as long as there's a demand within the public and it remains safe to deliver those services. So that's also a really big, important part of the plan. Maintaining the safety of our employees and the customers that they serve remains our top priority. And we have gone to great lengths to make sure that the workplace continues to be safe. The measures that we adopted early on include the mandatory wearing of masks within our buildings, additional sanitation that is available as persons enter our workplace, but it is also being provided throughout the day to keep our workplace safe. We have invested significantly in the type of personal protective equipment that our staff can use, from gloves and gowns where those are needed. But most recently, we've also invested in our lateral flow kits, which give our employees the ability to test themselves twice weekly and when necessarily on a daily basis to make sure that they themselves have not contracted COVID-19 and to reduce or eliminate the possibility of the workplace becoming a location of transmission. This is important for our employees' well-being, but also to make sure that we keep our customers safe and that when our employees return home, that they have peace of mind that they're keeping their families safe as well. In terms of support to our amazing and valued customers, we've gone to great lengths. So I've discussed a bit about the work that has taken place to make sure that when they physically visit our places of work, that they remain safe. And that, of course, is very important. But we also know, particularly for vulnerable clients, that they may prefer not to visit the workplace to begin with. And so we have been, over the past year, increasingly prepared sharing and rolling out and communicating other means of transacting business with the public service. And our e-government teams, as well as CSD, and the work that's been happening across all of our departments has really been important in providing people alternative ways of doing the things that are necessary, whether that is going online to renew your driver's license, or whether that is paying for various work permit or other things through online portals. It is easier now than ever to do work and to conduct services, receive services from our departments without ever having to step foot physically within the dwelling. And I hope that that goes a long way in helping to keep our community safe and giving persons peace of mind. It's been interesting. We all have to work differently, and working differently can feel very uncomfortable, but it's also created some moments of magic that we've really had to seize and make as a permanent way that we work. One of the things that I'm most proud of are the policies that we've rolled out that have allowed remote working, allowed individuals to deliver as much, if not more work from their homes or other locations than they would by coming in and centrally filing into the same office all at the same time. The benefits that this has created for many of our employees, including mothers, has been significant. And the benefit that it's created for all of us in terms of reducing congestion, both within the office environment, but also on the roads, I think have been real wins and have opened our eyes to what it means to work, that it's an activity that you do, it's not a place that you go to. And so I think this has been really something that we've been happy to see how quickly that has been seized upon and the many benefits that it is producing.